もう、 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。
う。 Hey, yo, what's up, everyone? And by what's up, I mean, what's up, everyone? Yeah. Oops. Let me quickly unmute my guest here. So second, I got Justin Gennari, aka I'm actually level 1. It's not I'm level 1, I'm actually level 1. It's it's a full sentence. I don't think you're the only Magic player who has a full sentence as a username, which is kind of bizarre.
Well, there's nobody knows I'm a dog. I've seen that one. There's a couple of Magic Online users who have some interesting usernames.
Oh really? Well, okay. But like, like there's not even an exclamation. Oh, I guess exclamation marks don't work maybe. Yeah.
No, it's like an old handle from I think back when I was playing League of Legends is when I first started using it. But originally my first couple usernames were just my last name with some letters switched around.
Gotcha.
But I like this one better. I don't know.
Nice. Okay, so also it was kind of okay. Hey everyone, it's are we live? Can you everyone hear us? Feel like audio's good. Yeah. Hey Pan and Go, how's it going, dude? Yo, what's up everyone? Good morning. It is 7 a.m. in Tokyo. I'm your guy, Kai Salvatore, aka Salvatore's Magic Online as always, and I am here with the most popular vintage streamer. Can I say of all time? Is that too crazy or?
No, we're not there yet.
What?
Maybe at some point.
Okay, well, it's let me say it now so that because maybe people are gonna watch this in 20 years and then they're gonna be, wow, dude, like that happened. Okay, well, so we do have the most powerful one of the most powerful vintage wizards on Magic Online, who is Justin Gennari from the United States. It is absolutely phenomenal to have you on. It's actually it was so hard, to catch up at the same time with people from the States. Like for me in Japan, I feel like I made a big mistake going to Japan at the first place. Because all those like Magic events, they also started like terrible time, and like challenges started at literally midnight or 2 a.m. perfect time for me. But yeah, so Justin,
you get all the kudos for this one because I was not going to be the one waking up at 6 a.m. before work
dude,
to get on a podcast. So you get all the points.
Dude, are you sipping a beer? You better do.
Oh
right?
Yeah, it's time, of course.
What?
I just finished work and now I get to hang out and have a beer. It's a good
nice. Oh, what you sipping?
This is a local sour. I did catch the beginning of your last one with Max and where he talked about IPAs and sours, but I used to be really big on the IPAs, but I've since moved over to sours. They're just a lot easier to drink.
Right.
Pretty big in the States right now.
Okay. Yeah, like I've heard that like IPAs are like, I mean, first of all, they're kind of like all over the place, right? Like also in Japan recently, they started IPAs, even though IPAs don't really match the Japanese food as well, and because they have like this kind of like intense flavor. Yeah, but sours, okay, I think we got them too, to some extent, but they're probably not as.
I think it's like a trend, like with all the craft breweries that are going around. I think eventually the rest of if you don't have sours yet, you'll get them in a couple years. It's like a following a wave.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, sure.
The alcohol that we don't have,
yeah,
that Japan has. I was watching another podcast. I don't know if you've heard of Trash Taste.
No, I've not. No, I've not.
Like an anime podcast in Japan.
Okay.
And you have this kind of it's like a really alcoholic, but it's like fruit flavored. I'd have to find it. I don't know. But they say it's like super dangerous because you just drink like 2 of them and they're super easy to drink, but you get really fucked up.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah, well,
I don't know if that rings any bells off the top of your head. I can't remember the name of it.
Was it maybe called Strong? Maybe there's
Strong. I think
yes, maybe so.
Strong Japan.
Oh gosh.
I Yeah, strong zero.
Exactly,
Zero.
yeah, strong
Or
zero.
Strong.
Dude, you like people died from that. Like, so it is like the problem with strong zero in Japan is that like you can get it at any convenience store, any supermarket, and it is basically a mixed drink. I think the base is like it's too high, so it's like some sort of like shochu, like some Japanese like sake-ish thing. And they usually mix it with like lemon flavor or like grapefruit or like what have you, and ends up being like up to 10%, and you can buy them in those cans, right? And the problem with those is that they're crazy cheap. They're cheaper than beer, and you are like I don't really get it, to be honest. Like when I came here to Japan, like so when I lived back in Germany, I was the weakest. Like I couldn't like when the time I was drunk, people around already they just started out, you know, like they were like, okay, well, so that was the appetizer. It's like, you know, where's the real boost, you know? And then I was like, I was already hammered, so you know, but like, and then I came to Japan. And things are so different now because like everyone around me can only drink one beer, and you know, at least I can drink two. And it's like, wow, that's a big accomplishment, right? And like in this crazy alcoholic weak environment, we also do have those strong zero drinks, and I don't understand because like who's gonna drink them anyway, right? It's too strong, you know. That's like for like a whole week's thing.
I assume college kids. How old are you, Kai? I actually have no idea.
I'm 29. I'm well, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I can still say I'm 29. I'm gonna turn 30 in exactly 1 month. On October 15th, I'm gonna turn 30. I'm kind of scared. Yeah. Like 30.
He's just a little bit older than me. I feel like I'm kind of past the point where I would be drinking like a strong zero or just like a super alcoholic. Like that seems like something you drink just because you want to get drunk really cheap and you're in college or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah. You don't have time, right?
But the idea of getting drunk and it being like not something that's like hard to drink does sound appealing.
Yeah, well, you know. I mean, just what about yourself? It is so hard for me to guess your age because. You are either that like I don't know, like 35-year-old person who looks like 25, or you're exactly the opposite where like it is so hard. You
Yeah, I think for now I'm going to continue to look 16 forever, but yeah, I'm 28. So
dude,
been out of college for like not 5 years.
Well, we're the same age.
6 years now. So
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of. That's insane. That's insane.
It's the same area, yeah. Just
cool.
like
cool.
fully. I feel like I'm not fully an adult. Obviously, I look really young, but I'm you know well into working and living alone and all that stuff. So
yeah, I mean, who's an adult anyway, right? I feel like, so people told me that like once you become like 18 or 20 years old, like like life's gonna change. Like it actually hasn't. So I'm gonna just throw it out there. If everyone thinks that there's like some magical thing that turns you like an adult like this, like the snip, no, it doesn't happen. I'm still that 16-year-old Kai Sawatari. I think I'm 16-year-old plus I got a little bit of like doomsday piles in the back of my head, and that's basically it. Okay, that's basically it. There's like really nothing on top.
I'm the same person. I just have less free time, I think.
That sounds awful.
Well, I mean, when you're a kid or you're in college, it feels like you have infinite time. But now I work all day, and then I stream some Magic or play some video games or whatever.
Exactly. You know what? Why don't we kind of touched on those like introduction things a little bit, but like why don't you, for everyone who has not heard of you, okay, which I think is like close to 0 people, why don't you tell them where they can reach here and like what where do you normally play Magic? That's a huge thing, by the way, because like people see you streaming all the time, but like people probably don't know where you end up as a paper Magic player maybe, and also your other hobbies. That's like huge, a lot of things. Okay, so
yeah, well, it's a little introduction. Yeah, hello, my name is Justin Gennari. I am the only partnered vintage streamer on Magic, only partnered vintage streamer on Twitch. I play on Magic Online. I started streaming like about 3 years ago now, ish, and I've streamed. It feels like a lot, but at least for this whole pandemic in the last 2 years, I've streamed almost every Saturday. Whenever there was a vintage challenge on a Saturday, which was really, really nice. I think my biggest streams was the Eternal Weekend. I'm really hoping that they're going to do Eternal Weekend online again this year. It was just so much fun. I've streamed for like 24 hours in one weekend, got to play 3 big Vintage events, and I just really hope they're going to do that again this year. As for Magic outside of, I mostly just play on Magic Online these days. People probably don't know, but I originally started as just like a paper grinder. So doing local PPTQs and PTQs, traveling to Grand Prix. I basically flew around, at least when you're in the States, it's pretty easy to travel to Grand Prix because there's just so many of them. But I flew around all the way around the States, driving up to Canada. I flew to a Grand Prix in Stockholm and Italy and a couple other places. But I tried really, really hard to qualify for the Pro Tour playing Paper Magic, but it just didn't end up working out. And at some point, I ended up as a Vintage player. I told that story on stream before, but I ended up really enjoying Vintage, and it's very easy to play on Magic Online. It's definitely in comparison to Paper. You don't have to have a Black Lotus or anything. And basically, when I decided that I wanted to play on Magic Online, I felt, well, why don't I just stream all of this and make it more. I like Magic Online for playing Magic, but it is kind of, you do lose out on the gathering a little bit, which streaming for me helped a lot with. If I'm gonna hang out with, in the beginning it was only like 3, 4, 5 people. Now it's more like 100 usually, but that just makes it a lot better experience for me. It feels like you're not actually just sitting in your room and playing Magic Online.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can totally feel you. I mean, you are the godfather of streaming anyway. Like, I mean, I just started out like two months ago. It's been a blast, I'm telling you. So it's awesome, really. like going through those matches, like doing punts, like if you do punts just by yourself, I mean, that's already kind of funny. But like, you don't have anyone to share the fun with, like life. But if you do something real stupid, and at least the whole world knows about it, which is good and bad, I suppose.
It can be pretty brutal because
it can be brutal,
especially when you live out the punt, and you have to face the fact that you screwed up, and then you have to face the fact that maybe 100 people watched you screw up and are in chat saying you screwed up, and then I save it, record it, put it on YouTube, and then I get to see 1,000 people watch my punt again, and then they're always in the comments, oh, this streamer, he plays too fast, how did he make that mistake? And he's like, okay, so I lived through this punt how many times now?
Holy shit.
You make the same mistake and you lived through it 3 times.
Oh, gosh.
But it is fun though. It can be a good time.
That's awesome. Like, I didn't know that you went to so many GPs. I guess living in the States is probably like a big bonus, because you all got like so many events. And
it's really like a United States bonus for sure. The amount of right? It used to dwarf the overseas GPs like 2 or 3 times as many in the States or something crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Like, for example, like in Japan, we get a total, I mean, obviously, like before the pandemic, we got 4 GPs total per year. It was almost, I think it was always 4 GPs. It was it was a legacy GP, and 3 combined out of usually like limited standard, sometimes modern, but more usually like that sort of thing. But like you and the guys, like in the States, that's absolute insane how many events you got. And man, gosh, you can play so much Magic. That just still like blows my mind.
There was a point where you could basically just every weekend fly out to a Grand Prix in the States, and I wouldn't do that because I still gotta work, and it's hard to, sometimes you need to take the Friday off or whatever. But for a little while, it was like I would try to like once a month to fly somewhere or drive somewhere to a Grand Prix.
Oh, nice.
Which was so much fun because it wasn't it's not just me driving out to a Grand Prix. We had a group, we had a friend group, a team, which I think was just like a super cool experience. And I hope that it comes back post pandemic. But who knows?
Would you consider yourself a Grand Prix spike, maybe like a Grand Prix grinder? Were you? Or
yeah, for a little while I wasn't very good at it though. I've had much more success qualifying for Pro Tours via Vintage than any paper Grand Prix I've ever played. I don't know what that was the most crazy thing to me when they started having all these qualifying things on Magic Online. I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm already doing that. I might as well, make some content out of it. And it's like, oh wait, we're winning these. Okay, oh, hold on.
That's good. Yeah, that's exciting.
It was pretty ironic though, because I tried so hard when I was like learning and playing PPTQs and RPTQs, and I failed like so many winning-ins to the Pro Tour.
Oh my gosh.
But and then just after I had, you know, stopped going to Grand Prix and stopped going out to paper events every weekend, that's when I get to qualify, which is just wild to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you must.
But I actually don't.
No, go on.
I don't really play much paper Magic anymore. I mean, obviously with the pandemic, that's you know, a little hard to do. But even before then, I kind of moved to playing mostly online. I do like have paper cards, so I can play in like a local Grand Prix. I like to play in the Eternal Weekend events that they have every year. And I did plan to go to Eternal Weekend in Japan before that one got canceled. So I'm hoping to do that eventually at some point. Got to put the power to good use.
Oh, sick. Wait. Are we talking about which Eternal Weekend were we talking about? The one in 2019? No, 2020?
No. So like the first one that got canceled. So it would be last year's Eternal Weekend in Japan. I was planning on traveling out to that one and playing in it.
Oh my gosh.
Because that year, or maybe the year before that, I can't remember, it all kind of blends together, but I had gone to Italy with a group of American vintage players, and we had played in Four Seasons and Nebraska's War, which were the two big Italian paper vintage and legacy tournaments. And then some of the players continued in Europe for a couple more weeks and then went to Eternal Weekend in Paris. I didn't have that much time off of work, so I didn't end up doing that. But yeah, I really want to play. I want to go back to Japan because I have been to Japan once and it was a great time. But I really want to play paper Magic in Japan too. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So like I played the Eternal Weekend in Japan like twice. It is always in Yokohama. It's like this super beautiful like Bay Area, and usually known for like dating spots. So which is kind of like weird because, like, you know, once you go out of the event hall, you see like a lot of like, you know, happy couples holding hands, you know, eating ice cream together and like stuff, things like that. And then you're like, dude, and I gotta go back to that like stinky event convention center, you know, play some cards. Yeah, like not like this, you know. And it just like doesn't really map up, you know. It's kind of a exclusive experience. Hey Julian, what's up, buddy? Yeah, that's somewhat weird. But that being said, I don't think that the Eternal Weekend in Asia and in Tokyo and Yokohama, good, I'm stupid. Anyway, is gonna get that many players like compared to the United States, because like we're usually talking like 150 vintage players, paper vintage players usually, like, or like 170-ish, but I don't think we've ever crossed 200. And there's like about like 30-40 old school players, I think, the next day, you know, for all the people who scrubbed out. And but you know,
if I had to guess, I would say the player count would start converging, because over time the Eternal Weekend in the States has gotten smaller. A lot of the people who own Power are playing old school. Like the old school event at the last Eternal Weekend, which was like off the main convention hall, was like 140 maybe, I can't remember. It was over 100 players.
Oh, nice.
And the main event was like 300 players. So I could see, like, I think, at least from what I can see, like the Eternal community in Japan is not shrinking at the same rate that it is in the States.
Yeah. So one thing I've noticed in Japan though is that like people don't like proxying decks. So and like I was obviously I was super mind blown when I came here, and you know, like we do have paper vintage tournaments once or twice every month, which is great, and like different stores and all that, and like people have their full power decks, and sometimes in beta too, and you're like, people just, you know, just have them all, like all the cards. It's kind of crazy. But I guess that's also mainly based on like salaries maybe here, like people doing overtime, and people also not having a lot of like free time in general. Maybe they want to, you know, they just dumped all their money into like pop and power, and also like those like power 9 cards are so much more expensive in Japan than in the States, I assume, because they're not really accessible, you know.
That would make sense, yeah.
Right? People gotta bring them here first, so anyway,
paper vintage is really just an odd thing.
Right.
I would suspect that most vintage gets played on Magic Online these days, and I'm always thinking about ways to get more people to play because it's super easy to play on Magic Online. It costs less than Modern. Some of these vintage decks are costing half or a third of what Modern decks cost, and I'm like, we just need to drive the interest up because the cards are there and it's super cheap, and I don't know.
Do you,
but the thing is, people need an incentive, right? They need a big tournament. They need whenever there's something to draw people in, that's when it works, you know? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a lot of people use Magic Online as like a training grounds for like an actual like paper event, I suppose. And also like and for example, for me personally, like I only own the cards on Magic Online that I also have in paper. Because I kind of want to keep them like synchronized, and whenever I build something new, I want to be able to also have them in paper too. So, but I guess like everyone does it a little like differently. But do you?
Yeah, it all depends on your goals, right?
But you do own a vintage paper deck?
Yep. So my first Eternal Weekend was not the last Eternal Weekend, but the one before that. In which case I owned a bunch of legacy cards from grinding Grand Prix. And so I bought all of the non-power pieces of Paradoxical Outcome at the time, because that's what I was grinding on Magic Online. And I had a friend who loaned me the set of power to play with for that event, which was easily one of the scariest experiences of my life. And that power is not worth as much as it is now. But even then it was like, oh my god, I have this guy's car in my hands. And it was worse because I was gonna get loan power, and he had sent it to London to get altered, or sent it to the UK to get altered, and it didn't come back in time. So he had to find me another set of power to get loaned. And so one of his friends, who I had never met before, loaned me his power, and I was like, I can't do this, which was fun. So like right after that tournament ended, I was like, quick, take it back. I don't want anything to do with it. Get it away from me. Like after that experience, I was like, I really can't do this again. If I have to do this again next year when it's worth even more money, I'm just gonna lose it. So instead I just dropped the money and I just bought a set of beat up power to play Eternal Weekends with, basically.
Right. Also, like, I mean, with Paradoxical Outcome, like, you have to touch those cards a lot, right? Like, you gotta pick them up, you gotta play them again, you gotta tap them, you know, and you also gotta be like kind of fast. Like you can't really slow play with PO, because like there's like so much game action, like so many, you know, like movements and things are going crazy on your board. So I don't like playing PO too much in paper. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's nice to have the hand of like 30 cards at one point, but then you have to actually do stuff with it, and if your opponent doesn't concede, you got a lot of actions to take. Oh, definitely.
It's too much. I'm not actually a huge fan of like the mechanics of paper Magic in general. Like, I really hate shuffling. I really don't like the fact that I have to watch for someone who's cheating. I think for a lot of things, Magic Online is actually just way more enjoyable for me than playing paper Magic. But the thing that Magic Online doesn't do is I can't, you know, hang out with my friends and go to a new city and you know, go out to drink and all of, you know, the gathering things, which I think just usually makes it a more enjoyable experience. Yeah, no, I can definitely relate. Yeah. So like, for example, like, if there's like one thing I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but like, as one thing I absolutely hate in paper Magic, that is putting dice or like counters on your cards. That is so obnoxious, because like now, like I don't even know how I'm supposed to tap a card that has like 5 different dice on top and like another like mark counter. And like, for example, like Urza Saga is such a cool card, but I really don't like it in paper as much, because like you have to drop a lot of shit on top, you know, and just like kind of ruins the card. And like, I always look stupid tapping those, you know, like I haven't really found out like a cool looking way how to tap those cards. Like, it always looks stupid no matter how you do it. It's so bad. That's why I like when Dissension came out, like I think like 15 years ago or like whenever, I absolutely detested Simic, because they have like all those like growth counters and how were they called? I don't even remember. But those like +1 plus. Yeah, exactly. Those like, yeah, graph, like those +1/+1 counters, I think. And you know, you like, I finish like you will never see me play vintage
affinity or like vintage, how's it called, Ravager shops. I will not not touch Arcbound Ravager in my life. You know, you can, yeah, I bet my ass on that. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that.
Right.
It's not a huge problem to me as long as they're not using the dice that always fall over. But
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Because during when I was playing a lot, it was you know, I had a local game store that I went to. You know, sometimes play F&M, play Modern, do all these fun things and all that. But when they went out of business, I never actually ended up getting a new local game store. None of them are super close to me. Oh. So most of my paper magic is like singular events, so like an Eternal weekend, or there's actually a shop like an hour and a half ish, an hour and 10-minute drive from me that does you know, legacy and vintage things. So sometimes I go up there if it's not like conflicting with a stream or something. But for the most part, I don't even have like a local game store anymore, which is kind of sad. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't even have a good comment to that.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I assume you have tons of stores near you, right? You're in Tokyo?
Yeah, I am. But like now I kind of feel bad. I almost don't want to talk about it because I don't want to make people feel bad. But yes,
I mean, you say you worked at one or do work at one?
I used to work at Tokyo MTG, which is like one of the bigger LGS in Tokyo. Mostly for foreign players. I think they have the biggest like EDH, the Commander community there. And right. Haruya is the biggest place, and it's also like the most competitive place. Like usually like the best players in Japan, they all live in Tokyo mostly, because like you get so many raps and so many tournaments, and they go to Haruya every single day. And like they fire legacy 3 times a day, and vintage I think twice a month or so. And it's like always like high attendance, and like people have their cards, and it's kind of crazy, right? But
I think that's mostly just a city/rural thing, because I'm not really close to like big cities or anything like that right now. So like if you're in Tokyo or you're in, you know, Boston or you're wherever, then you're gonna have a bunch of access to, you know, stores near you. But if you're in Rhode Island, do you know where Rhode Island is, Kai?
Of course, I freaking don't. No, I barely know where Seattle is, and what's it called? That place with a lot of like where you can gamble. Las Vegas, yes.
Oh, Las Vegas.
Yeah, you know, like that place where you can gamble. You know, Las Vegas and Seattle are the only 2 places I know in the States. It is freaking embarrassing. I know.
No, it's a huge place.
Yeah.
I'm in the smallest state. You can drive from the top to the bottom of my state in 45 minutes, 50 minutes.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
but you know, it's not New York, right? I'm actually like in between New York and Boston, so you can actually get to those cities pretty easily. But it's not the same. You guys can train everywhere. In Europe and in Japan, you got nice public transportation systems. I gotta drive my car into a city, and I don't want to do that.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really speak for Germany, because I think the train system in Germany kind of sucks, but in Japan it's crazy good. And like Japan is this weird country where like everything happens in Tokyo, really. I feel like 60-70% of all events, all everything's they're so condensed, like so like, you know, just like it all happens in Tokyo. And again, yes, Julian, I do get a lot of like faxes every day. What the fuck? They're begging for me to come to local to events. I gotta say, faxing machines are still a real thing. It is freaking embarrassing for Japan. They should probably stop, but it's still a thing. And honestly, one of the reasons for me to move to Japan 6 years ago was to play more on paper Magic, because I used to live in Berlin, and Berlin has like terrible paper Magic scene where, like, you know, barely 16 people gathered for like Legacy, for example. I mean, I'm close to 0 for Vintage. I was like, you know, I kind of wanted to play more Magic, right? And I was not playing Magic Online back then. In fact, I started last year, almost like 1.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like I'm barely new. I still sometimes fuck up those like short keys and, you know, like passing priority and things like that.
Fluster Storms?
Yeah, Flusterstorms. You know how? Okay, so the first thing I did on Magic Online was to sinkhole my own underground sea. That was my first that was my first experience. Okay, and I was like, dude, fuck that. And then I did things like, yeah, Flusterstorming my own spells, for example, casting Infernal Tutor without cracking LED. and also costing a dark ritual in my upkeep to, you know, like I had Infinite Tutor in my hand and I started casting those rituals in my upkeep for like whatever reason. And dude, I had like 8 mana in my pool. Okay, next phase, maybe. That was crazy. Yeah, it was like a lot of big punts happened on Magic already. And I'm
yeah, it's a learning curve. It's a good representation, but it's not always the friendliest.
Yeah. You know what? Because we were talking about like punts, and I feel like I'm the only the only stupid person here. Please tell me about your biggest punt. Come on, Justin. Like, you know, you gotta help me here, you know, because otherwise I look like this total fool here.
I saw. So you had this question in the show notes, and I was just like, I have no idea what the hell would my biggest punt be. I feel like I must push all of these things just to the back of my mind because I know they've happened. They've for sure happened. I for sure lost huge games that, you know, thousands of dollars or Pro Tour qualifications to my own punts. But I can't remember a single goddamn one. I asked the group chat. I was like, someone tell me what my biggest punts were. And we were like, I don't know. He's probably screwed up somewhere. Because it's very clear, like when I watch like I go over my streams or sometimes I'll definitely in like the big tournaments I'll like review my stream VODs. It can be hard because I don't like watching myself. I don't know about how you feel about your recorded videos, but I hate watching myself or listening to myself talk, which is weird because I could just talk forever listening to myself talk. But when I watch the recorded content, like no. But like there's always punts. There's huge punts. I made this mistake. I made that mistake. We could have done this better. But then I don't know. They all go away because there's more Magic to be played, and I played so much Magic at this point. It all just blends together.
You know why those punts go away? Because I think, you know, you follow up with next punts. You know, so it's like a punt chain. You know, it just keeps going on and on.
There's always a new punt coming. Why worry about the last one?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's holy shit. And like, you know, and that's and like one thing I really like about your streams in particular is that like you also like, you know, you make fun of yourself for like doing those punts, right? Like where it's like I know a lot of people who go absolutely mad if they like quote unquote like misplay and things like that, and because they like, you know, there's always like this pressure of, hey, I gotta play as like the best I can on stream so people, you know, gonna like learn more, like respect me more as a player and blah blah blah. But actually what people want is you to be just you and, you know, do your thing, and if you punt, that's cool, whoever whatever, right? So
yeah, I think that's a learning process and something that grows with streaming, because that's definitely not how I am. I've definitely gotten a lot better at it, but over time while streaming I've gotten a lot better at it. But I have historically no poker face. When I play paper Magic, you know everything that's happening through my face because I can't contain myself. If I made a punt, I'm there like under my breath, like which is something I don't like. I didn't like that part of me, but I would like very visibly be angry with myself when I made a punt. And so it was something I had to work on, and I'm still working on. On stream, it's a little even weirder because there's some amount of you want to play it up to the crowd because I am myself almost all the time, but you also have some amount of showmanship just by being you're entertainment. You know, people are turning into you to watch Magic, but they're also turning in to be entertained. So there's like some amount of showmanship there too. But it's not. I don't know. I'm happy that you say that because that means I've improved a little. But even like last weekend, I only streamed for like 30 minutes because I woke up and I wasn't really ready to stream. I didn't want to stream, and I made myself do it anyways. And like in the first like 10 minutes of the stream, I punted left, right, and center, and I don't think I handled it super well. Obviously, I actually ended my stream that day. So I think it's okay. You know, I think it's a growing thing because you want some amount of where you can't be okay with making mistakes. If you're okay, like if you're at some level, you need to be like, I made a mistake. I want to get better, and I want to do better. And you have to have that drive or you're never going to get better. But you also don't want it to be all consuming. You need just the right amount of, I made this mistake, it upset me because I want to do better, and then I do better, and I push back that, you know, amount of being upset.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that does make a lot of sense to me.
Well, you've been streaming for like a little while now, right? How have you found making a mistake on stream feels, and how do you like how do you deal with that?
Dude, I
wanna
mean,
hear what you have to say.
I'm still like fairly new. I started like 2 months ago. But like I got to this point where, okay, so you know, I made a big mistake. I touched that stupid deck sneak and show, and I lost to goblins with an active Grizzlebrand on board and like 14 life or something like that, or like 20 life. I don't even know. Like it was kind of hilarious. And the cool thing though is that at least the crowd is entertained, I suppose. Like I was just like, I was not ready to play like any of those games, like, you know, like properly.
Yeah, I guess that's a nice upside, is that if you're playing paper and you're playing at a Grand Prix with no one watching, you're just playing with your opponent for stakes. When you make a mistake, all you do is, you know, lose maybe. But when you get it online, you get to put it on Twitter and you get to laugh with everybody else and have a good time.
Yeah. You know what? Why? There's also like so last podcast we with Max Torsion we did this truth or false thing. Okay. Why don't we jump into that section now? It is so for everyone who has not heard of it, it's 3 statements. Okay, you're gonna do 3 statements about Justin and 3 statements about me, and at least one of them is correct and at least one of them is wrong. And we gotta guess. Okay, it's like a lot of guessing, and also like a nice way to you know like get to know each other. So, and do we want to start with Justin first? Because like, you know, Justin sent me those 3 statements, and I am. Dude, I'm already so confused, dude. Seriously, I think I'm gonna, and I'm so bad at this. Like, I'm so like, I think last time Max Torsion, I think he got everything right. I think all 3 of my statements he got absolutely right. It was like 3 of 3 points, right? And I barely guessed one of his. So, we gotta.
I'm excited to see how bad you can do. You talked a small game.
Okay. Yes. So hopefully, like, even if I fuck up everything, and we're not gonna end the stream right here. We're hopefully gonna, you know, just like keep the ball rolling.
No, we'll just clip it and put it on Twitter and laugh at you.
Well, you know, I thought like we just pretended it never happened. Anyways.
Okay. All right.
So the 3 statements are, okay, I'm gonna read them out loud now. Is Justin played on his college rugby team. Justin played professional League of Legends, and Justin's best GP finish was in a standard GP. All right, let's start from the top. So Justin played on his college rugby team. Man, I mean, this is somewhat tricky. If I'm honest, I don't think that you are a sports person. I just like. Yeah, I mean, you gotta show me.
You need to see my size.
Like, dude, you gotta
like a size, like, you know, stand up a little bit.
Yeah, could you?
I'm short. Wait, I'm short. Oh crap.
Huh? Could you flex a bit maybe and like, you know?
No, I mean, you're talking about college. You know, that's a couple years ago.
Well, like, so I think that people who have been like who did a lot of sports usually don't have enough time for like other hobbies. I see you as a gaming person mostly, and I think that like when most other students were doing sports, you were probably the guy who was in the computer room playing World of Warcraft or like something along those lines, probably. So I would say that this is probably a false statement. That's my guess.
We're gonna go one at a time, or do you want to wait till the end?
I want to go like one at a time. So
one at a time. Okay. So you are correct in part of it, in that
nice.
I was probably playing World of Warcraft and doing stuff, but what I was doing before playing World of Warcraft was playing sports. So I did play at my college's rugby team.
Oh, god damn it. Damn. Oh man, you know, that was the only statement I felt a little like half confident. I was like, dude, I mean, this I got this. Okay, well, you know, I'm gonna start positive and then, you know, punt all the remaining ones. But okay, dude, you played in a college. How was it?
I love rugby, an amazing sport. I didn't learn about rugby until college because, you know, in the States, most people just play American football with the pads and everything, and which I did play that in high school too. But in college, like, I I'm obviously not big, so I couldn't play college football. That's too much of a thing. But the rugby team was a little bit more. The cool part about rugby is that you can be any size. Like obviously you want to be the big, tall, and strong guy,
right?
But there's room for the skinny, fast guy or the small person with a mind or something. So I actually played scrum half on my college rugby team, which is like for any American viewers, it's like a quarterback. Basically, you get the ball out of the scrum and you throw it down the line to the big and fast and strong people.
Oh wow! Nice.
And I loved rugby. Rugby is such an amazing game, and I miss team sports. I really haven't done much. As I don't have muscles anymore.
Yeah,
I haven't done much sports since college. But it's something I want to get back into at some point.
Yeah, Justin, have you ever consumed your opponent's souls after a rugby match? That's a serious question from Julian.
You do that during the match, and then after the match, everybody gets together and just gets really hammered.
Oh, nice. Okay. So that was a somewhat long period in your life, or was it like rather short?
For rugby, it was rather short because it was just college for 3 years. But I played sports like throughout growing up. I played like tennis. I basically played everything: tennis, soccer, football, baseball. I wasn't very good at most sports, but I really liked playing them. So
doesn't matter. That's cool. Okay, wow. God damn it. Okay, well now I gotta try real hard with the other two. So Justin played professional League of Legends. So, oh man.
You know League of Legends.
I know.
That's the first question, I guess.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't know League of Legends? So, like League of Legends.
It's really big at this point.
So like professional League of Legends. Okay, so like League of Legends is big. It's gigantic, right? And I don't know about League of Legends like a couple of years ago. Because like it looks like it's constantly growing, so I guess the competition is like just like over the top these days. And professional League of man, that is such a time such a time investment. It's so intense. Like professional League of Legends, that basically means that you threw away your whole everything else basically, right? So like if you play a game to like a professional level, it probably means that you're gonna give up all your hobbies, your partner, your family, your everything, right? So and I do know that you also post your cooking pictures every now and then, which I think is really awesome. I think people should seriously cook more often. For example, like for myself, like I watch Gordon Ramsay every now and then. I think that it's probably like a big mistake, like a terrible idea. But like Gordon Ramsay to me is like Paulo Vitor Damo da Rosa.
Sure.
In terms of cooking. Anyway, so since you also did sports and also you also like cooking and you also played, you've been playing Magic for quite a while.
Where do I fit all this time in the day?
Right, like I don't think you can fit a professional League of Legends career on top. Or you're one of those sickos who never sleep, and you got like 24 hours a day where you can do stuff, and then you could definitely be a professional League of Legends player. I would say that's a false statement because I don't think you have this much time in your life. Like how does it all fit? But what's so confusing about the statement is that I can definitely tell that you could have been a super professional League of Legends player because you are this, I mean you are the guy who plays like vintage Magic, like the most complicated Magic format of all time, like to solid finishes and things like that. So I wouldn't. Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna stay with my first gut feeling. So I guess you never had the time to become professional. Maybe you played League of Legends as like as a sidekick, but like never to a professional level. Please tell me I'm right. Come on, please.
So let's see. I played League for 10-11 years.
Oh shit.
I started the League club at my college. I captained the amateur and collegiate team at my college. But no, I did never actually play professional League of Legends.
Okay, dude. Oh, okay. We're back on the train. We got this. Okay, nice. Yeah,
I did. I have a funny quip which I usually use for like what's it called? But basically, the team that I played for, 'cause I did play amateur level. the team that I played for went on to be the worst professional team in North America.
Oh, gosh.
So my team did end up becoming a professional League of Legends team, just not with me on it.
Oh, that's crazy. So like, would you say that like if you skipped like Modo, for example, like some of your other hobbies, you could have been the person in that team still, right?
I think my mechanical skill was never high enough. I had a good mind for the game. At one point in college, I wanted to become a shoutcaster or a play-by-play or a color caster for league matches, or like do coaching, stuff like that. But I ended up deciding that if I wanted to really do that, I had to invest a ton of time, and I felt that finishing my degree was a better use of my time. Because yeah, at that point, I am juggling finishing college, playing rugby, going to Magic tournaments, playing League of Legends, playing League tournaments. Yeah, I don't really remember sleeping that much.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Damn.
You're back on track. One and one
Yeah,
here.
it's 1-1. It's not too bad. Okay. I mean, I'm already better. I should probably stop here because then I'm already better than last time. But we have a last statement. Just Justin's good, dude. I'm gonna fuck this up so badly. So Justin's best GP finish was in a standard GP. Okay, so a couple of things here. So first of all, there has never been a vintage GP. Okay, so I'm definitely okay. Well, that is a big help for me because if there was ever a vintage GP, this like I would this is like probably like the wrongest like statement ever. But standard is. Man, I mean, you already told me that you played a couple of like GPs.
Yeah, I told you I played a bunch of Grand Prix and I was grinding paper, but that's
yeah,
could be limited.
It could be anything,
standard,
really.
modern,
even
legacy.
Yeah, even a boat. Maybe so like so I would say, but like I've never seen you play legacy. Like like sometimes you tweet about you retweet legacy tweets and you go like, yeah, but I actually don't know anything about legacy. So I thought
I'm not allowed to. I don't tweet about legacy anymore. I'm off it. I clean my hands. I don't do that anymore. People got way too mad at me the last time I tweeted about legacy. I told them what I say. I said, don't legacy players know that Delver's been the best deck in the format for 7 years? And they were so mad. I got so much hate mail. I was like, all right, no more legacy tweets.
Unfollowed. Okay, well. Well, best GP finish was at San GP. So like I assume that if you played so many GPs in your past, you might have also had like day 2s and things like that. Standard is like I would say that probably also like in the States there are the most GPs are probably standard and limited is what I say. And
yeah, that's probably true.
So so
there was a lot of modern ones at the end because modern was so big.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you're right. I think you're right though. I think standard and limited probably have the most.
Exactly. And I would say that you definitely had some like like decent or like semi-decent like finishes definitely down the line. I just don't think it like standard doesn't really fit you really. Damn. I would have guessed that your best finish was modern or limited, like probably like because what I can tell is that like whenever I see your new vintage videos is that you are a crazy deck builder. Like you always have this next super spice I just put like 20 new cards from the new set into my vintage deck kind of person, and like really like no one really gets what's going on. And I also know that a lot of people do like net decking, and like it's kind of getting like boring, right, over time, like where you see like the same list like over and over and over again. But you're that madman who always comes up with like those like crazy new like synergies. And I don't know how many people played Uro in vintage before you did, and like like all those like new crazy tech. So I would say that you are a decent deck builder, which then would put you more into the limited unlimited train. So I would say this is a full statement, and your best finish was probably limited, is what my guess is. And yeah, just just tell me that I'm wrong already. Come, just do it.
So I am not very good at limited.
Oh fuck!
And I played a lot of standard,
Oh, gosh.
modern, and some legacy GPs.
Oh man.
And my best finish was in standard.
Come on, dude. Oh.
I like how you went down the path of deck building and fun and interesting combo decks, and my best finish was with Teamer Energy Splashing Scarab God in that standard.
Ooh.
The most normal tier 0 winning deck of the format. I just played it to I think it was a 12-3 finish at a standard GP.
That's
in
insane. Holy
New York,
shit.
New Jersey or something.
Holy 12-3, are you crazy? Man, I also played standard back in the day, but obviously I was too focused on combos, so I played Godfather's Gift back in the day.
I love God Pharaoh's Gift. That card is sweet.
It's such a sweet card, right? But like the deck is terrible against Teamer Energy.
Oh yeah.
It is terrible. I don't think I've ever won a match against Teamer Energy. It was practically impossible.
I can tell you I played God Pharaoh's Gift at all of my local tournaments, but for some reason when I went to that Grand Prix, I was like, you know what? Splashing Scarab God in my Teamer Energy deck, and that's gonna be good this weekend. I just did it, and I was like, oh hey, look at this! Our deck is actually really good.
Dude, god damn it, that was crazy. That was.
I did have a good legacy finish. In Seattle, I played Grixis Delver with Deathfire Shaman, which was just so broken. I took that deck, I borrowed the deck, I played 0 games with it, I showed up to a legacy GP, and I started that GP 10-0.
Are you what the hell? Oh wait,
the deck was so broken.
Was it the one in 2015?
God, all the years blend together. Hold on, this is easily easily searchable information. If I just put in my name, yeah, it should show up, right?
I think Jarvis Yu took down the GP and Dixter Time got banned.
No, it wasn't that one. It was it's not actually easily accessible information. I don't know why. It was the one that it was won by Grixis Delver. I lost to the guy who ended up winning the tournament. There were so many Grixis Delver players. I remember I was 10-0 and I sat down and I looked to my left and it was Noah Walker, who's just like incredible Delver player.
Right.
And then I looked to my right and it was some other pro. I can't remember his name. And in round 10, I had to play Seth Manfield in the Grixis Delver mirror.
Holy shit.
It was like, oh man, this deck's so broken. But then all the wheels fell off. I had to play Dilks, who was on his lands deck, and I have never played against lands in my life. 0 reps against lands. And playing Delver versus lands on 0 reps was horrible. It was horrible. I was like, Judge, his Tabernacle, he has a Tabernacle, and the what's his thing is indestructible. Oh, the Merit Liege. And I was just like, can I just check that this card actually reads, destroys and not sacrifices? That doesn't make any sense to me. And Dilks is looking at me like, this kid's never played Legacy in his life.
Dude. I guess like Delver is like also like one of those. It's crazy to me because like it plays a lot of like cantrips, but like at this point you were probably already familiar with like like those like cantrip Xerox type. Like it is overall like
basically
a Delver.
Delver rewards you for having good Magic fundamentals, which you can learn in any format. You can learn them, and I learned them mostly in Modern. I played tons and tons of Modern at my local store back then. And I really liked playing like different control decks at that point in my life, which is complete opposite of how I like to play now. But yeah, so basically, I think Grixis Delver was so broken at that tournament, and I just picked it up with 0 reps, and I had a good time. I think I ended up going 11-4, or maybe it was 10-5. I don't remember. Maybe it must have been 10-5 because it doesn't appear online anywhere.
Oh wow.
But I had won 1 match. I remember beating a Depths player, so I won 11-4 in that tournament. But I was so sad because I started so well. I'm like 10-0.
Yeah.
Am I finally gonna make the Pro Tour in this format that I don't really play that much? Because up until then, I just played Stoneblade. I owned blue-white Stoneblade just because I had the cards already. I just had all the cards, so I played the blue-white cards. I owned trade binder decks.
I mean, like, didn't you a couple of weeks ago? Like, didn't you stream a Stoneblade deck in Vintage? Didn't you with Caldra Complete?
Yeah, I think Cauldron Complete's a really cool card and really strong. The biggest problem with one of the bigger problems with Stoneforge Mystic and Vintage is that it just doesn't clock your opponent fast enough. And the Cauldron thing is like, I think beats down real quick.
Yeah. It definitely
doesn't take very long.
It definitely does.
But yeah.
Okay, so overall,
All right, I want to guess yours.
Okay, so I'm 1 and 2. Okay, well, as expected. Actually I thought that, you know, yeah, I kind of expected 1 and 2. That's like the best I can. It's the best I can go.
I think I can get 2 of these, but one of them I don't know you well enough. So we'll see. We'll see.
Do you want to read them out? All 3?
Yes. All right. So Kai's 3 are 1. Kai got DQ'd from a Grand Prix. 2. Kai has never seen Star Wars. And 3. Kai has cast more Dark Rituals than Dazes in his life.
Okay, I'm curious.
Those are the 3.
Go.
All right. So I'm gonna start from the top. Kai got DQ'd at a Grand Prix. Now, thinking logically, you could get DQ'd at a Grand Prix from 2 different ways. 1, you did something extremely bad from a personal side or a cheating side. And 2, you made so many rules infractions that you might have gotten DQ'd from all the rules infractions. And I don't think you would get DQ'd for like one of like, you know, yelling at someone or fighting someone or something like that. But I don't know you well enough with your paper play to know if you maybe, I don't know, you forgot a trigger too many times, did something. But in general, I'm just going to say that you have never been DQ'd from a Grand Prix.
Okay, well, you're wrong though. I got DQ'd from a GP once. Yeah, dude, Justin.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, you know, I was hoping to really get you with the statement because like it looks so. It looks odd, right? Like as you said, like getting DQ'd from a GP means that, you know, you violate a lot of rules and this and that. You know, a lot of things like happened that day, and it made the judges really angry, and you know, like you got kicked out of the tournament. But let me tell you the story. Right. So that was GP Las Vegas in 2016, I believe. It was it was Legacy, and it was on day 2. Okay, I think I was X and I think I must have been like X and 3 at this point. I was like 10-3, something along those lines. I was dead for top 8, but I was very live for top 16, and I played ad nauseam Tendrils with Burning Wishes and blah blah blah. And what happened is that I think a couple of days before that, I got my Dark Rituals altered, like full art altered by Ken Maya Jr. Have you ever seen the alterations done by Ken Maya Jr.? The guy
probably have, but nothing comes to mind right away.
Yeah, like the guy who painted Kurt Ape and like the the Tempest Dark Ritual, I think, you know, like the guy who goes like, you know, like that. And basically he full art altered my Dark Rituals, and they looked like one looked at like Beethoven, Einstein, and like, you know, and then some other 2 like German. Anyways, so the card didn't look like Dark Ritual anymore. Okay, it looked like a like a portrait of, you know, of Einstein, and no card text. And the judge came over. I was playing Storm. I was already up a game. It was after game 1. I took game 1 against Food Chain, and then one of the judges came over and carefully looked at my deck, because I think I played ad nauseam. I flipped like my whole deck on the table, and like and the judge, like, you know, just stopped and, you know, just like peeked at my deck, and he's like, so hey, what is that card? I said, oh yeah, this is my Dark Ritual. Oh, and like, what is that card? That's like the other Dark Ritual. And then, you know, and then he walked away, and he came back with the head judge, and the head judge was like, yeah, you can't play with those. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, like, I'm at this point, I'm like 13 rounds deep in the tournament. I'm live for top 16, blah blah blah. I was already like if you play at a competitive level and on day 2 you're already, you know, like already kind of like, you have this tunnel vision about like making prize money and blah blah blah. And like the head judge was like, yeah, you have 5 minutes where you can replace those Dark Rituals, or you have to play with I think like four cards from your sideboard, like basics instead, like something like that. I think it was basics. And I was like, dude, I don't have any Dark Ritual with me, and I don't think that I can. Like, I went to like a couple of booths like magic booths. Like I packed my stuff.
Yeah.
I packed my stuff as fast as I could. Ran over to like the first like two or three booths, and none of those booths had dark rituals because it's like a freaking 10. It's like $1.
Yeah.
It's a $1 common, right? Like who has those anyway? Like the only dark rituals that were displayed were like beta dark rituals. For I'm not gonna buy those, right? And it's like, okay, well, there's no freaking way I can get like 4 dark rituals. And then you know I saw. Yeah, basically I ran into the desert and never came back. Meaning that like I went back and was like, yeah, so like, you know, I don't have any replacements, and the judge went like, you know, okay, so you either have to, you know, like play basic swamps instead of your dark rituals, or you can't play in this GP anymore. And at this point I knew that the end of the GP was upon me. And yeah, so like DQ is maybe a little bit a strong word. Maybe I should have changed the word.
You baited me with that's not a DQ.
But like basically, like, but I kind of want to call it a DQ nonetheless, because they gave me 5 minutes to find a replacement. And how the hell are you supposed to find a full replacement cards within 5 minutes? That's technically impossible, right? So they kind of made me stop the tournament right there, because I was not. Yeah, it just, you know, like you can't cut the best. It's like cutting paradoxical outcome out of your PO deck, you know.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
All right, so literally none of the things that I spoke about occurred.
Right, none of them occurred.
None of the reasons you would get DQ'd occurred besides mark card. I would put in that cheating category. It's not even mark card. It's just you just had. Yeah, so you guess you didn't get your altars cleared at the start of the tournament.
Exactly.
That's the life lesson.
Exactly. Yeah. They told me afterwards, and as you might know, I'm also like doing altars myself now, and like
right.
the biggest rule when doing altars is like I'm making sure that those cards are still tournament legal. Okay, because I've been in this position. It is terrible if you want to pimp your deck, or like do some, you know, want to make it look unique, and then you rock up to this tournament and, you know, and people tell you to, hey, you know, this card is not allowed, that kind of sort of thing. So like just making sure that the important parts of the cards are not covered, the picture looks like the card image still looks like the card image, and so on and so forth. So there was like a big lesson, definitely. And yeah, so that happened at GP Las Vegas. It was a somewhat unique experience, I want to say. But maybe you know what, I was a little it was a little tricky. I should maybe replace
all right, this throws off all of my logic, because I was gonna be like, well, I got my, you know, one guaranteed true or false out of the way, and because I don't know you, how am I supposed to know if you've seen Star Wars or not? So I was just gonna use, you know, some process of elimination.
Right. Okay.
But now I don't have that anymore. So now I gotta think. So man, this is true. So these could both just be false. All right, I'm just gonna go with the fact that God, it could be anything.
Oh, maybe you want to.
It's not 2 truths and a lie. It's our adjusted version where there just has to be a truth and a lie. So.
Yeah, do you want to read out the
the remaining 2 are Kai has never seen Star Wars and Kai cast more dark rituals than Dazes in his life, and one of these has to be false. And you might be baiting me here with the dark ritual and Dazes one, because I don't know what you played before Doomsday, but you seem very competent at Doomsday, so it feels like you probably played a lot of Doomsday. But it could just be, you know, it could be the reverse psychology just baiting me in there. I'm gonna go with both at the same time. Ready? I'm gonna go. It is false that you have never seen Star Wars. You have in fact seen Star Wars, and it is true you cast more dark rituals than Dazes, because Daze is not a card you cast a lot. If you're playing dark rituals, you're casting a bunch of dark rituals. Boom, final answer.
Dan, Justin, you got 0 right. In fact,
it was the bait.
Yes, dude, I have never seen Star Wars in my life, but I've seen Lord of the Rings probably like 40 times already. Okay, like I've always been like that like sword axe bow person, and never the laser sword person. That's why, like, when I played Warhammer back in the day, I always played Warhammer Fantasy. It was called Fantasy and never 40k, because I really didn't like how laser works. Because like people were dead too fast. You know, like, you know, you shoot someone in and he's dead, right? I mean, I guess you can also, like, you know, maybe hit someone with your bow and, you know, he's also dead. But I have yet to watch all Star Wars movies, so like whenever someone makes like a Star Wars reference, I cannot respond to that with like any. I can't even fake it, because I just don't know anything about Star Wars. It's so embarrassing, really. But yeah, and I had the I said it also, like I mentioned to a couple of friends, like I think last year or 2 years ago, like, you know, before I turn 30, I'm gonna watch all the Star Wars movies. And now guess what, you know, and I have a one I have a 1 month deadline here, so I've yet to watch all Star Wars movies. I think I barely know who Obi-Wan Kenobi or what's this. Yeah, it is. I think it's that's the old guy, right? The old little dude, fella. Okay.
Well, no, not the. All right, no. Well, it's okay. Okay, you never see Star Wars. That's fine.
Never mind. Okay.
So did you just pick up Doomsday for fun recently? Just a side quest? What's going on here? You told me you have to have all the cards in real life before you can have them on Magic Online. So how can you cast more Dazes than Dark Rituals?
So if you look up my deck list from before, I used to play Dazes also in my Dark Ritual decks. In Storm, for example. I was one of those.
Yeah, but you still cast Dark Ritual more than Daze in that deck.
No way, dude. So like I started.
No way.
I started playing Legacy as everyone else. I think you and I we had a similar experience. Like I started as a Delver player. Okay, I was playing Canadian Threshold in 2011. Like the real Nimble Mongoose Tarmogoyf, you know, kind of deck for like a long time. And then I eventually swapped to like Storm, but I was like constantly still playing Delver. And to a point where in 2016 I brewed up a Northern Tendrils deck with Dazes, with the full set of Dazes. Actually, it's a 3 main and 1 in the sideboard. And now I'm also casting Dazes in all my Doomsday decks. I think in Vintage I usually play around 2 copies. In Legacy it's 4 copies. Daze is an absolute phenomenal card because, as you know, Daze also sometimes acts like a small Dark Ritual, you know, because you can replay your land, for example. So like Dazes has already Daze is like the best mana accelerant ever printed. You heard it first. So
So basically, Kai was on level 0 here, where every statement was the opposite of what you would normally think. And I expected Kai to be a little tricky, you know, maybe go on to level 1. But no, you just had the basic. Oh, he wouldn't think this, so I'm gonna put it.
You know what? Like I thought, like based on how easy my statements were, like the last time, I thought, you know, I kind of make them maybe a little tougher, you know. Today maybe it's easy. Also, like if all my guests, like if they get everything right, and like if I'm the only stupid person here, like, you know, who like barely gets like one statement right, you know, I probably feel like a fool. So just be a fool with me, please, for
alright, it's fine
for the time being.
I'll score 0 on the test. It's okay.
Justin, yeah. Obviously I think we didn't mention this to the chat, but you can also type in any questions in the chat. We will try to keep up with the chat as much as possible, although we are you know, we have like a bunch of things to talk about. So if you feel like you know, typing a question, we are hopefully being able to answer any of those. That being said, we also got listener question from Shir Khan, and on Twitter he's a big Vintage player. Have you ever met him, by the way?
No, I've never met him, but he's probably the Vintage player that or at least on Magic Online anyways, that I respect the most, because he's just so good at the game,
right?
This guy is just like unreal at Vintage, but before that he was just like a sicko limited player at Pro Tours. He has 2 Pro Tour top 8s.
Wait, are you the hell?
I'm not lying. He's you know, enough to be on the Hall of Fame ballot. It's crazy.
I guess
I like Shere Khan.
wait,
He's a nice guy.
I guess
too.
I guess that's a wrong statement. Oh no, it's not the game anymore. Okay, well, that's crazy though. That's crazy. Holy damn. Okay, because like whenever I see his tweets, like he plays a different vintage deck at every challenge, I think, and he always top 8s, and that's so unreal to me. Like, how can you?
Dude's just having a good time. He just can do whatever he wants.
It doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Dude, like one day I want to see him with like a true limited deck, just rocking up at vintage and do like, I'm just top 8 it anyway. Because like, I mean, some of those like limited decks might even be good enough for vintage. Because like vintage is this weird format where you almost never play any creatures, right? Like those creatures usually need some text on top, like some hate text like Collector Oof and blah blah blah. Leovold.
Not as much anymore. We have a lot of creature battling happening right now. Yeah, much with Bug and Urza Saga. I mean, I don't know if you count Urza Saga as a creature. I kind of count Urza Saga as a creature.
Sure.
It makes creatures, so you are doing some amount of combat there.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. So he asked just a variety of different life questions, like favorite video games as kids, favorite books, movies, series, cooking and stuff. So
okay,
we can go through some of that.
What? Since this is like a lot of small questions, why don't we go like fire answers, like just real short, quick answers to all of them. So favorite video game as a kid. Boom, you go.
As a kid, I like to play a lot of RuneScape. I like to play Age of Empires, the original and the second one. And then like WoW and League of Legends, depending on like where you put me in that age.
Okay, not bad. Yeah, I would go with Pokemon Blue and Red mainly. That was my bread. That was my bread and butter. By the way, we got a question from Julian. Justin, could you take Kai in a bar fight? Oh my gosh.
How tall are you?
I'm 182 centimeters. Wait, that's so.
Yeah, can you do it in freedom units, please?
God damn it! I'm so bad with like inches. I'm so bad in inches. I
can Google. I can Google it. 180 normal units.
Okay, no. So like my height.
I want it in yards. I want it in feet. 5. Oh, we're the same height. All right, yeah, I could take you in a fight. So.
Holy shit. Okay. Well,
as long as you don't have the length on me, because there's just some tall ass Magic players with some really long arms. I think I'll be okay here.
Okay. I take it. I mean, when I was.
Did you play rugby, Kai?
I did not play rugby, but I did karate for like 2-3 years.
Hold on.
But I was a 6-year-old kid back in the day, so I don't remember shit. It's
how much karate did you do? I bet I did more karate as a kid than you did.
Yeah, probably. I mean, 2-3 years, but I was a baby.
No.
I just didn't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And now I can.
I did a lot of karate. That was in my list of sports that I did as a kid.
Oh shit. Okay.
I don't know how I had this kind of time. Where did the time go?
Yeah. I don't know, man. You tell me.
All right. So let's go. Favorite books. Favorite books. So I read a ton of books when I was a kid, and I haven't been reading much books recently. Mm-hmm. I really like the Lord of the Rings as book series. I know some people don't like that because there's like tons of like poems and stuff, but. I read like all the sci-fi and all the fantasy in my public library when I was a kid.
Nice. Okay. For me, it is the rule book of Warhammer Fantasy. And like I gotta say, like I haven't read many books in my life. I'm not a book reader, and unfortunately, because like people keep telling that if you read books you become really smart. So maybe that's the reason why I'm still like this. It doesn't. Okay, well, anyway, so yeah, but I remember reading the Warhammer Fantasy rule book over and over again because I wanted to like memorize everything, and like it also had like some little stories here and there, but it's not a real book, right? Yeah, so I kind of.
That's like saying the dictionary is my favorite book. What is it? Warhammer rule book.
Yeah, dude, it's like I like it so much that I kind of want to buy it now on eBay again, like a used Warhammer rulebook, just to get my reps in again. Ooh, Julian asks like, what's your least favorite book, Justin? Do you have one?
Probably something we were forced to read in school, like one of the classics that are not very good. But for the most part, I don't actually mind a lot of the classics. Like, I don't know, I really don't mind and like reading things like Shakespeare and like those epic poems and stuff like that. I kind of think those are all pretty interesting. So I think a lot of the things that people would put as their least favorite books that I actually kind of enjoyed. So,
well, I mean, does that answer the question though?
No, I don't think I have one that comes to my mind.
Okay.
I do think that like there's maybe like, things like I don't remember which one, but like things like Great Expectations was something that people were forced to read in my high school.
Right.
Something like that would probably be true. I can guarantee you at least one of the books that I was forced to read was not actually good.
I guess, Justin, like you can always say Warhammer Fantasy Rulebook, right, as your least favorite
Oh yeah,
book.
yeah.
So.
I hate that stupid rule book. Yeah.
Oh man.
I will say I started listening to the first book of Dune recently because I wanted to read it before the movie came out. I had always meant to read it and I had never done it, so I'm now listening to it, which has been interesting.
Sweet. Okay.
I don't know. How do you feel about listening to books instead of reading books? You said you didn't like books at all, really.
Oh, way better.
I don't know if that...
Yeah, way better. You
like it a lot more.
Yeah, because because you're asleep within 5 minutes. That's awesome. Which
that's not
awesome.
the point.
That's awesome, dude. People tune in like those like heavy rain sounds for like 10 hours on YouTube, for example, to go to sleep. I go like, just like any audiobook, really. It almost doesn't matter which story, because like when they're done with the first intro section, I'm already asleep. So yeah, it's awesome.
I just turn on Salatarix on Twitch to fall asleep,
Yeah, dude. Okay, well.
I just play.
You know what? I mean, like,
all right,
yeah, I should probably punt more so you don't fall asleep. Okay, let's move over to favorite movies. Okay, maybe we can limit it to like 3 movies. Okay, I go with my favorite movie, 3 movies of all time. It is the whole Harry Potter series. That's a no-brainer kind of for me. Yeah, well, I kind of like it, but also mainly because I grew up with Harry Potter. Like when the first movie came out, I think I was in 4th grade, and so on and so forth. So I kind of grew up with the movies.
Yeah. I mean, they were definitely good movies growing up.
Right.
For sure.
But like, I mean, obviously that's like more like of a childhood thing. I'm a big Tarantino fan. So I love The Hateful Eight and Django Unchained. These are like 2 movies I really dig. I can't watch them too often because they're like a little intense, and they're like also not movies you should watch like like multiple times a year. But I usually do like once or twice a year during December. Like December is like the big movie month for me. It's the month where I like watch like the most movies possible. And yeah, just like Tarantino is so like it has like so much like sarcasm, and like it's so brutal, and a lot of like irony going on, and a lot of people get murdered and blah blah blah. So these are definitely, there are like so many other good movies too, but like I really want to point out that I'm a big Tarantino fan. So what about you?
All right, so I'm gonna give you my favorite blockbuster movie, my favorite Disney movie, and my favorite Hayao Miyazaki movie. So my favorite blockbuster film is just I really like Lord of the Rings. I think they're like cinematic masterpieces. Yeah, incredible. My favorite Disney movie would probably be Hercules. I think that movie is so much fun. And then my favorite Miyazaki movie is Nausicaa.
Ooh, okay.
The Valley of the Wind.
Yes, good choices. Are you a big fan of Miyazaki in general?
Yeah. I don't think I'm like the biggest fan, but there are some that really do resonate with me. I have the manga. I bought like the big old manga of it. It's so cool.
Oh, nice.
I actually got to see Nausicaa in theaters recently, because they did like this Ghibli partnership thing in my local theater, where each month they showed one of the movies, and so it was so cool getting to see like this really old, like it's really old at this point, really old film in theaters.
That's crazy. Wow, that's absolutely. I mean, so you have watched them in English, I suppose, right? I mean, no brainer question.
I've watched them in both.
Oh, Japanese
the Ghibli films. Yeah, the Ghibli films are nice because they usually have pretty good dub voice actors. But for most part, when I watch anime, I try to watch it in Japanese and just read subtitles.
Oh, nice. Okay, well then you do it right then. You're correct. Yeah, I feel like every time they do like new voices for like English, German, whatever language, it's like sometimes they fuck up the voices a little bit because like the voices get real like low, like for foreign voices. And sometimes it kind of ruins the character to like some extent. But
yeah, the biggest problem with the Ghibli dubs is sometimes they get too famous people, which is like, oh, I know who that famous person is, and they're not doing like a good
Right.
voice acting job where they're being someone else, where you're like, oh, I know who that is, but that's not, they're playing a character. You don't want to know who that is, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And that happens in films too, where you have like a famous person, but you really would rather have had a new actor that you've never seen before, kind of thing.
Right. Ooh. So let's move over to series. What's your favorite series?
Series, like TV shows?
Or like like Netflix. Yeah. Do you watch Netflix?
Yeah, so I watch a little bit of Netflix. I watch like a lot more anime than I do normal shows, or English Netflix shows. But recently I've been really enjoying the Witcher series. I really enjoyed Game of Thrones before it went off, the rails. I really like The Expanse, which is a sci-fi series. That one's pretty good. And then like a ton of anime. But those would probably be the biggest series.
Okay. Yeah. Again, like, did you watch Pokemon when you were a kid? The TV series?
I actually didn't watch very much shows as a kid because my parents never had like cable TV, so I just didn't have shows.
Gotcha. Okay.
So actually, maybe that's how I found all the time to do all these sports and read all these books. It's just 'cause I couldn't watch TV.
Yeah.
we figured it out. We've solved Justin's childhood.
Nice, dude.
On the MTG&LIFE podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, series are. I guess you can call those like just like Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh also like a series. For me personally, I think the my absolute #1 series I've ever watched is Breaking Bad. It is like an all-time favorite. It's just phenomenal. I was not big into series by any means, but like I started watching series like 2-3 years ago when I got Netflix, and that was the first series I watched. Breaking Bad. It's awesome. Everything happening there is awesome. I'm also like somewhat of a fan of what's it called? The one with the kids. Holy shit.
Stranger Things?
Yes, exactly. Stranger. Yeah, the one with the kids. Yeah, Stranger Things. I
have not watched either of those series.
Yeah, they're like these series with the kids, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the kids.
Okay, yeah, you got.
I know which one you're talking about, and I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
So I think it was.
It's good. I'm kind of sad, right? And that they're all grown up now. So it kind of, like things change.
Did you get sad that the Harry Potter kids grew up as you watched the films?
Oh well, don't tell me. I just wait. What? They grew up? What happened?
Oh, okay.
So let's move on with what favorite dishes. Ooh, okay. I know that you do a lot of cooking, so I'd be curious about your favorite dish.
Right, so we gotta dispel that. Cooking was my New Year's resolution this year. Well, one of my 2 New Year's resolutions, because I have actually never really cooked before this year. And this year during the pandemic, I was like, I really need to learn something and actually like progress as an adult.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to cook more meals and I'm going to work out. And I haven't worked out at all. But cooking more meals has gone very well. Okay. I basically cook three times a week.
Sure.
But what I found out was I didn't actually dislike cooking. I thought I disliked cooking. But what I actually disliked was food shopping. Ooh. So I was doing like one of those meal programs where they send you the ingredients and then you cook it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I've just been doing that. And I've been doing that for like the whole year. I think I've cooked like 70 or 80 meals this year, which has been super great because if you ask me how many meals I cooked the year before, it'd probably be like less than 10 or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I never know. But as for like my favorite ones, I really like buffalo chicken dishes, like very United States style buffalo chicken dishes. When I order Thai food, I get the spicy basil fried rice. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, like buffalo chickens is like probably like the most American answer I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's just chicken. I mean, there's tons of ways you can prepare it, right? But it's just chicken with like sauce on it, whatever. But I mean, I really like that outside of buffalo chicken too. Like just what's it? Karaage?
Karaage.
Did I say it right?
Karaage, yeah. Japanese.
Like, I mean, just having like breaded chicken with whatever I'm eating is just, I really like that anyways, so.
Sick, okay.
Yeah, because I like, spicy basil.
Like,
I think that's like of the things that I order that I don't make, the number one thing I order is from the Thai restaurant down the street. I just ordered the spicy basil fried rice.
Oh gosh, okay. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, they also like do a lot of like takeaway places like in Tokyo. I don't know about like, you know, like your city, but like in Tokyo at least, a lot of like restaurants have closed and more of those like takeaway places like popped up. And karaage is like, you know, for everyone, karaage is a Japanese like fried chicken kind of deal, but you know, it tastes a little different, a little unique. It has some like soy sauce season and okay, flavor to it. Just tastes a little more Asian, but that's like the perfect takeaway food, you know, if you have like a busy day at home. And you know, like those places are like popping from the ground, so like yeah.
That's one of the big problems with where I'm living right now is I'm just so far. I'm not really super far, but I'm not in a city, so I don't have a lot of food places near me.
Right. Which
is really frustrating. So I am trying to move to a city just so I can be near more people.
Right.
Obviously that's not the biggest benefit right now, but yeah, just so I can see people more often and get more food that's like more diverse.
Definitely.
I think like the nice part about being in a city is I love the food from like different cultures. Like the only Indian place in my town closed. So I don't even have an Indian food place anymore. Like we have a bunch of nice Italian places, but you can only eat Italian so many times before you're like,
nice.
I want something else.
Right.
So I want to move to the city so I can be near more food.
Oh, Julian is asking, would you rather quit vintage forever or eat natto? First of all, do you know what natto is?
That's like is it like beanie sticky thing?
Yeah, dude. It's fermented beans.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried those? Like you can.
No, I'm not I grew up an extremely picky eater where I would not eat like anything. Now I've been trying to diversify my taste and at least try everything and like find things I like. So I would probably give it a shot. I heard that it's more of a, you know, some people like it, some people don't, kind of acquired taste thing.
Wait. It's unpleasant, a crime? What the hell are you guys talking about? It's delicious. I'm about to get natto right after this podcast, by the way.
Oh.
it's awesome. I guess that's also like mainly because like I grew up in Japan. Like when I turned 5 or 6, the whole family, we moved to Germany. So like I was already used to that like weirdo Japanese food already. And like natto is so good also. Like it's first of all, it's super healthy. But it's also like easy to chew, and yeah, it might sound weird, but you know, it's really good for kids too. So if I ever get a baby you know, get a son or like daughter one day, definitely natto will be on the menu because it's also crazy cheap. So
oh man,
but yeah, natto is like is something really. I think like throughout the years I only met one foreign friend who actually liked natto. So we talking about like, you know, like 2% of all the foreign people out there. So
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of those. Like every country has a weird dish that it's kind of a cultural taste. But
definitely, yeah. It's like, for example, like if you stay in a Japanese hotel, natto is the default breakfast dish. Okay, like there are people like who there are people who actively skip, who don't book the breakfast in a hotel because they don't want to eat the natto. You know, I mean, obviously you also have other options depending on the hotel, but like rice, miso soup, and natto is like kind of like default already. And I had some Italian friends come over to Japan. They had a bad time because, you know, they thought that like, you know, more meals covered, but you know, they actually had to go out and, you know, get some like sandwiches instead and things like that. Like
I can tell you from what I've seen of a traditional Japanese breakfast, I would not like most of it. I can tell you that much.
Okay. Well, okay. This is I think the whole question series from thank you Shirkan for those questions. Also where you can find your OnlyFans page. Well, do you have one?
No. I'm online enough as it is. Can't be doing that.
Yeah. Same. But man, oh, you know what? There was one more thing I wanted to point out is that so your name So first of all, like the first time I heard about your stream, I was like, I'm actually level 1, and I thought that you are streaming judge questions. I thought that you were like, I thought that this is like some judge channel where you talk about like the rulings and things like that. And it's like, oh, dude, like this guy. I mean, what? No, because what's funny is that I'm also
never heard that before.
I'm also actually a level 1 judge. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean, I gotta ask you first though. Like, are you actually a level 1 judge?
No.
Of course you're not.
I did at one point think about taking judge tests. But the thing that it is when you're really into Magic, all you want to do is play Magic tournaments, and you can't judge a Magic tournament if you're playing in it. So it's the same with what's it called? Shoutcasting and broadcasting, doing commentary. It's like I love doing commentary on Magic tournaments. I think it's super fun. It's a great time. But if I'm doing commentary at a tournament, I can't play in the tournament. So it's just like,
yeah, it sucks.
It's always a push and pull. So
right.
At one point I did want to get my judge, become a judge, but I didn't end up doing that.
Oh man, Julian got a really good point. Yeah. It's you probably judge people, not the games, right?
Oh, all right.
Like whenever you see someone, you know, like doing like a biggest pun, like you kind of want to like approach and be like, hey, you could have done this and this and that. And this is by the way why I like when I was judging at one of those events in 2014, I ended up judging people instead. Like that is no joke, Julian. The head judge of the event, that was like a level 2 judge, and he asked me to kind of like step aside because I started judging those. Like I approached those players and be like, hey, you could have done this and this and this, and it's like, oh wow, this is like actual like assisting from the game, and I'm doing it as a judge, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I only judged like a couple. I don't think I've judged more than 5 events in my life, and they were all awful. I just wanted to have that license to have a better shot at working at a LGS in Tokyo. Like when I decided to go to Japan to work at Tokyo MG, I was like, hey, I can do anything for you. I just do everything you want me to, and I can also judge and do this and that, and I can cook and blah blah blah.
Yeah, that
blah,
makes sense.
Right?
I can cook.
It never happened.
I'm hireable. Hire me.
Yeah, please. I do anything. Yeah, just but yeah, like judging is probably. I mean, some people like it, right? But judging is definitely a different animal for sure. So yeah, man. That's good. But also, by the way, could you maybe tell me the secret behind you waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. in the to stream a vintage challenge? I have not. Yeah, I just failed to find. I just failed to see how you can do something like that. That's absolutely crazy.
I don't do it too much. But a lot of times it's just like, did I take a nap after I finished the first challenge? Did I, is there something I really want to play and stream? Because what I found recently is that if I have something I really want to do for Magic and to play, then it makes the stream experience just so much better. For not only for me, but for like all my viewers too. Because if I'm having fun and doing something interesting, right, and having and enjoying what I'm doing, it just ends up making a even better stream. And so there are definitely just times where it's 3 a.m. and I've already slept a little bit, or I really want to play something, and I'm just like, well, I live alone. I'm not waking anybody up. Let's just let's hop on the stream and get playing. Because at this point in my life, whenever I play Magic Online, I basically always stream it. Like 90% of my Magic that I play at this point is streamed and recorded, and you all see it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I don't recommend playing Magic at 3 a.m. at all, but sometimes it's nice to have the option, because sometimes it's 3 a.m. and you do want to play Magic, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not for you. You've never been like it's 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never started an event at 3 a.m. I am mostly down for those midnight start legacy challenges though on Sunday. Yeah, they start at literally midnight. And yeah, like I think we do have somewhat like a similar pattern where you take like a short, like a power nap before like an hour or two or something like that, and wake up, just like eat breakfast at 11 p.m. and then just like casually and like so I'm like drinking coffee, espresso, and like any of that sort of stuff. But also like streaming, it kind of keeps you. I don't have to drink coffee as much because like you're constantly talking, so there's no way you can fall asleep during stream, right? Like if you keep talking, no. Wait, what?
No, that's not true. I've definitely fallen asleep streaming the 3 a.m. challenge.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just here like in round 5 or 6, and I'm just like, the biggest problem is between rounds. If you gotta have something to do between rounds, because if you don't have something to do between rounds, you're just waiting for the next timer, and you're sitting here, and I got a nice little comfortable chair, and I'm just here, and I'm out. And someone had to call me and be like, the round started, Justin. Come on,
oh shit.
Gotta get up.
Oh shit. Yeah.
It's
crazy.
For the most part, I do agree with what you're saying, though.
Right.
When you're in the round itself, and you're just, the way I stream, anyways, is I'm just permanent stream of consciousness. Whatever is in my head is just gets blurted out. So it ends up being, you're pretty awake at that point. You got a lot of talking happening.
Definitely. Man, we've been talking for like almost like 1.5 hours. That's crazy. I just what are you up to today anyway? Like it is late evening in the States right now, right? It's like 7 p.m.
Yeah, it's like 7:30.
It's not too bad.
Basically, I just woke up this morning, and then I worked my software engineering job for 8 hours, did some coding, and then I ended my, I have work from home, so I just closed that laptop.
Nice.
Swung around, opened up Discord, called Kai, and now we're here talking. And then after this, I'm just gonna make some food, and then I don't know, might play Final Fantasy or listen to Dune or something. I don't know. Normally, this is my my stream day, but this is a nice change. This is a nice change of pace instead of streaming some vintage, because I've just had I've been pretty burnt out recently, and I know I said I wanted to talk to you about it. You're pretty new, so I assume it's all a lot of fun. It's all happy and smiles. But do you have a locked schedule? I guess is the first thing. Do you have days where you're always going to stream?
Not yet, but it's also like partly because I'm fairly new, and also I'm trying to find like the perfect time to cover like the best times for the US, Europe, and Japan, which is probably impossible.
Tough, yeah.
It's possible, but
yeah, it's not easy. But what I found was like when I've been like I said earlier, if you don't want to do it, it's just not going to be a good product. Like if I don't want to go to work, I could still code it and it's still going to end up, good code.
Right.
But if I come on and I try to entertain and I try to play Magic and I don't want to do it, it will end up being both not good Magic and not good entertainment, which is not good for anyone. It's not good for me because I'm upset, and it's not good for the chat because they want to, come and be entertained and see high level Magic. Or I don't know, or see high level punts, what are the two? And so it's been a little weird recently for me, just trying to figure out like, Wednesday is my stream day. Do I still stream even though I don't want to stream? That's why I didn't originally make like too many days like locked in guaranteed kind of thing.
Right.
But it's tough because it's when you're a streamer, the best thing you can do is stream as much as possible at a consistent time every time.
Right. And
that's like the best way to grow your audience. Like me streaming every Saturday for a whole 1.5 years over the pandemic, and, everyone knows that, it's 1 p.m. on a Saturday. If I want to, I can go watch the Vintage Challenge. And that's like the best way to do it. But it's tough because if it's one Saturday and it's time for the Vintage Challenge, but I don't want to do the Vintage Challenge, it's tough because I feel like I should do the Vintage Challenge, right? Like my subs want me, are here for me to do the Vintage Challenge. They expect it to happen, right? I don't know. It's weird because I guess you probably haven't experienced it as much.
Yeah, yeah, kind of. I mean, I guess like you hear it every now and then that like if you have a fixed schedule, then people at least know what's going on, like like when they can tune in. Like some people even adjust their work time based on like streamers and when they stream and things like that. So I also do know a lot of people who watch streams while working, so there's that too. So yeah, but
so it hasn't happened. It's just me.
yeah. Good plan. What's gonna be on the plate today? You said you're gonna cook something.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make
buffalo chicken.
I think I have a chorizo pasta is my meal for tonight. Or I think I have the ingredients to do like a flatbread pizza. So maybe I'll do that.
Oh, nice. Sweet, dude.
I'm gonna open the fridge and I'm gonna pull one of them out and I'm gonna make it. And I'm gonna finish my beer and it's gonna be a great time.
Easy, yeah, easy as that. It is currently 8:30 a.m. in Tokyo. I'm about to also hit the gym after this and
nice.
eat some natto before, you know, like a madman. Get all those beans in and, you know, and then try to do some exercise. And gonna be out later. I have a big trip lined up. I'm gonna go visit Germany after like 3 years of not traveling to like any country. Yeah, I'm gonna stay there for like 3 weeks. I'm super pumped. I think I'm gonna start like packing my stuff and things like that. It's gonna be a long day, so I'm super happy that we started the day this way. It is already Thursday. A beautiful day outside, almost 30 degrees in Tokyo. Still like, you know, scorching outside.
Yeah, but what is that in freedom units though?
Dude, I don't know. It's probably
Celsius.
Fahrenheit.
Holy shit! Oh my god, it's so hot in Tokyo. It's crazy.
It is, yeah, it is. Yeah, you know, that's what you get. So.
Oh, I hear it's tough to be in Tokyo in the summer.
Yeah, kind of. You know, like, and
I guess the summer's almost over though, right? You should be cooling down at some point here.
Yeah, hopefully. But like, the Eternal Weekend, like, if you want to make it to the Eternal Weekend in Japan, it's always in August. So it's like you gotta sweat your ass off. Okay, it's like the hottest time period ever. So yeah, it's just, you know, maybe you wanna, I don't know.
It's whatever. It's worth it.
That's cool. Yeah. Is there anything like last thing you wanna you know, shout out to people?
No, I'll
anything?
let you.
Yeah.
So make sure you can get to your workout here.
Right.
Just thanks for watching, everyone.
We should definitely mention to you know, please hit our socials too. So for Justin, it is IamActuallyLvL1 on all his socials. I've never seen like something this easy. It is literally the same thing for YouTube, for Twitter, for Twitch too. Please make sure to hit up us on his socials. Most of his Twitch streams also end up on YouTube, correct?
That is correct. Everything gets on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm Kai Sawatari. Sawatarix on Magic Online, but also on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Twitch too. You know, I kind of want to stream Vintage more often, to be honest. Like I think I've only streamed Vintage like twice or so. I should definitely do it more often because like Vintage is super fun. And like as you were saying in your streams, is that, you know, people should really get their hands on those kind of like cheap cards on Magic Online. You know, like it's a cheap super fun format. A lot of interesting decisions, and I also think that if you play a lot of Vintage, you also get better at most other formats, because what Vintage does mostly is like card evaluation, but like a lot of card evaluation. Like sometimes it is correct to, you know, to not counter your opponent's Ancestral Recall if you have, you know, like a Tinker in your hand, you know, like you really want this Tinker to resolve, you know, like things like that. It's just a really interesting gameplay that happens every now and then. And yeah, so
there's something to learn from every format, and I definitely think that Vintage is a fun and interesting variant of Magic to learn. It's got some parts of it that you'll find are, you know, like other Magic formats, but it's got some very unique things happening as well that
right
are gonna produce interesting moments, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, so with that being said, thank you everyone for joining. It was a pleasure. And this will be live on YouTube also, I think tomorrow, as soon as this is all like exported on YouTube. And yeah, if you have any questions also, please leave them down below in the comments for YouTube. And again, thank you so much, Justin. It was great, really. It is like I don't think we have mentioned this, but like we haven't met in person just yet, but I feel like, and even though like I punted with so many of your statements, like being a face on Twitter or like on Twitch, it kind of made me feel that I somehow, like, you know, I've known you for like many years already, which is odd, but you know, so it was really good. Thank you so much, Justin.
Oh, thanks for having me. Look forward to being able to meet you at a Vintage or a Legacy tournament in the future. How about that?
Yeah, we gotta hang, dude. We gotta hang, dude. You know, like, you know what? We gotta hang. We gotta slam Vintage, and also we gotta do all you can eat natto challenge. Okay? That is.
Oh no.
with that being said, thank you everyone for joining, and hopefully see you next time. There's gonna be like, you know, already a couple more MTG&LIFE podcasts planned for the end of this year, in October, November, I think. So stay tuned. This is gonna be super exciting. And yeah, that was Justin from the States and Kai from Japan tuning in for you guys. Thank you so much and have a good day. Have a good day.